cat in the wall, eh? Okay, now you're talking my language.
You ever drunk Baileys from a shoe?
All right, welcome into the View from SeaTech, part 2 of our 2024 season preview. We're talking about the defense now. I'm just Matt. This is the Dyerwolf here. And last year was a pretty nice year for the Buckeye defense up until one game and one game only, and that was the scUM game. But Jim Knowles has to get a lot of credit for taking a team that was terrible all around 2 years ago to last year being, or 3 years ago, to being pretty good 2 years ago, last year being a top 3 defense, like by like every standard, basically, besides takeaways. So we'll have to see if that improves. We even add more talent than we lost, which is great. We bring back like everybody important. This should be one of the all-time great Ohio State defenses. Casey, what are you thinking as a what will Knowles be able to do this year with all these toys he's got?
Well, one thing that they did not do great at last year either, other than takeaways, is sacks. That's what I want to see, and he's even talked about it. He's a little bit of a I don't know what to predict from him, because he did such opposite things in his first year to the second year, and now he's saying he wants to get more aggressive, which hopefully he just finds a happy medium with it. But if our sack numbers can get up, that'll just help the offense out even more.
Yeah, we're ultra aggressive, blitzing a ton, especially on third down last year, or 2 years ago. Then last year, even when the chips are down and we need to bring like the eighth man into the box, just wouldn't do it. Just like against Michigan, he wouldn't do it. But we made teams drive the ball down the field against an elite defense, and they just couldn't do it, like time and time again. Now we played a lot of bad offenses too, so that could have helped out for us. But then we played a really good offense in Missouri and the Cotton Bowl, and we couldn't do anything when we had the ball. So our defense is out there all night, and they still only give up 14. They were awesome in that game, I thought, and kind of validated everything that Knowles has done since he's been here. And so this year, number 1 defense, and we're number 2 or number 3 in yards, number 2 in scoring last year, number 1 against the pass. We should be even better. And like you said, now all that's missing are the big plays. Turnovers, we only forced 14, I think, all last year. 7 fumbles, 7 picks. And then sacks, we were like 28 for the whole year, which for our talent level is just not acceptable, really. But when you have the overall results, they were very acceptable. We'll start where everybody should start, the D-line. And we are stacked coming back here. 3 starters, almost 4, because Ty Hamilton played a lot last year too. There's a lot of rotating at D-tackle. But across the board here, Jack Sawyer and JT Tuimalau at D-ends, both 5-star recruits, both seniors now. Jack came on strong at the end of last year, had 5 sacks in his last 3 games and 7 tackles for loss. Huge expectations from both of them. Tyleik Williams in the middle was second-team All-American last year for the Walter Camp. Was easily our best defensive player last year. And then Ty Hamilton is the anchor there on the other D-tackle spot. I've always thought he's kind of just a guy, but you need guys like that. They're just going to go out there and do their job every single play so the playmakers can make plays. What do you expect out of D-line? And Coach Larry Johnson may be a make-or-break year for him, to be honest.
Yeah. He's missed on some recruiting stuff too, which doesn't help. But, yeah, you kind of touched on it about the Missouri game. Jack Sawyer in particular dominated that game. 3 sacks. That's who most people are expecting him to just go nuts. And then, who else is on the other side? JT. He's the guy that was supposed to. I thought he was going to be the first team All-American guy after that Penn State game, and just nothing ever. It always was just consistent. But
if we only played Penn State every game, he would be the number 1 overall draft pick.
Yeah, exactly. D-line is probably, you say all those great things about D-line, but they might not even be the best unit on the defense. But
that's what's scary about this defense. Depth-wise too. I mean, Caden Curry and Kenyatta Jackson, we've all seen them flash when they've gotten in, and we've heard good things about them. But we just didn't rotate much last year. I think this year, we didn't touch on this in the offensive side. I think we see just a lot more rotating, and when we rotate guys, we let them actually play. We don't just like dumb it down because we need real. It's a long season now. You're gonna have to get into your depth. So 16-game season, no matter what, if you want to win a national championship. So you need to get these guys in. I think we'll see more of them, and we should be blowing people's doors off too. At least to start the first 3 games are cakewalks. And then D tackle Hero Canoe get in there some. Caden McDonald probably. Maybe Jason Moore, Tywan Malone. Jason Moore's a freaking monster on the video game, I'll tell you that. but yeah, couldn't be more excited about the D-line. I could see 3 All-Americans there, and I call JT the X factor because if he does actually hit that potential, which he gets close, like he does, like he still was first team All Big Ten because he's so good against the run. He does his job so well. But if he actually, I think he had like 30 pressures last year. If he actually turns a few more of those into sacks and gets like 10 sacks, this is a legendary defense because I think Sawyer gets 10 easily. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think if they get home a lot, it's going to change everything.
Yeah. Oh, 3rd and long against this team is the absolute last place you want to be.
Yeah.
We'll go to the question mark now, though. We've replaced both our starters at linebacker since we only run two LBs, but they're getting Eichenberg and Steele Chambers. Both I thought were not that good last year, to be honest with you. And they were our leading tacklers, but they made like no plays. They had like 1 sack combined and 1 interception combined and 1 forced fumble combined. Like that's just not getting it done in terms of playmaking, especially when you have the D-line kind of playing conservative in front of you. But they weren't blitzing that much either, so it's hard to wreak havoc, I guess. But we bring in some athletic studs. At will linebacker, Cody Simon takes over. He played a lot last year too. Gets the Block O jersey. No doubt he'll do at least the worst he's going to be is Tommy Eichenberg last year, which is still a good thing. I guess still a good player. The other side, though, Sonny Styles probably taking over. Him or CJ Hicks are both freak athletes that are going to play at the will. They should be a lot better than Steele Chambers was, to be honest. But to put it mildly, especially if Sonny can reach the potential we saw at safety. He's been a playmaker whenever he came towards the line as a safety. He's kind of struggled, though, in the pass coverage stuff. Just didn't seem natural at it. Could this be his natural position?
Yeah, that he's a freak, and apparently CJ Hicks is like the best guy to go for a sack on the whole team. So, I mean, they're both going to play a ton, but I was glad to hear that Sonny is running away with it a little bit because that's who I wanted to get it. That's probably the guy I'm most excited to see, other than maybe Caleb Downs coming in, because I just don't know what that guy's like because he wasn't on my team.
He's good. Spoiler alert. Yes, the 5-star athleticism that Sonny had. Remember, he came in like it should have been his senior year in high school. He came in a year early. So this is like when he should be hitting his stride physically now, too. He looks big a lot. So does Jack Sawyer. A lot of these guys look big in almost a questionable way, to be honest. If I'm putting what's up in here out there, they really do. If you just look at them. But, we know other teams have done that too, so whatever. Arvell Reese will be the other linebacker we might see a lot of this year. Maybe Gabe Powers, but Arvell Reese has been getting rave reviews. He's the next one. He should take over for Cody Simon next year for sure. I'm not worried about him. They have everything around them. Like linebacker is a lot about what's around you, especially up front. If they can eat up blocks, if people are worried about them first, which they will be, then you get to run free and make tackles. And if you're an athlete like Sonny Styles is, and you're like such a cerebral player like Cody Simon is, you'll make a lot of tackles and hopefully a lot more big plays, though. Get a couple picks, strip a couple balls, get some sacks. Let Knowles, especially with a guy like Styles and CJ Hicks, let them let loose. Turn those boys loose and let them make plays.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the linebackers. They're definitely the weakest link, but they could be dominant. That's what's crazy. Mm-hmm. But if they're terrible, that could make this defense like not even top 10.
No, they won't be terrible. That about guaranteed. And James Laurinaitis now is the full-time coach. We'll see how he is, because last year he was on the staff, and I think there was a regression, but it also was a different style of play. So who knows what it was. Now, the reason they're the weakest, though, we talked about how good the D-line is, and you said they may not be the best unit on the team, and I agree with you, because the back five that we start is freakishly good. Like, we're talking, like, at least 3 first-round-ish type guys, maybe, if Igbenogson can get in there. But, like, Cale Downs comes in as a transfer. Let's talk about him first. The All-American as a freshman at Bama. A lot of people said he's the best player on Bama last year as a true freshman. How often you hear that? I mean, he had all the accolades coming into 5-star. We wanted him really bad first time around. He transfers after Saban retires. Dude's just a missile. He can be like the Troy Polamalu, the chess piece that you just move around wherever you need to make plays and to shut down offenses. And I just think, especially with having him at the back end, if you want to play it that way, along with Lathan Ransom, who you can trust at the back end, allows you to get more aggressive and creative up front, because you can know if it is beaten, if they see your blitz and beat it, they're going to clean up the mess behind you, no doubt, and not give up the big plays anyway, and then make some big ones on their own.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about before, like who we think is, like, if you tried to say who's our best player, it's kind of hard to say. There's a lot of guys in the mix, but he is one of them for sure. And he might be the answer, actually. But I just want to see how he fits with everybody else. I want to see it for a few games, and then I'll be more comfortable. Hopefully it all transitions to the field, them working together, coming from a different team. Makes me a little bit worried about it. Yeah.
Then our other 3, it sounds like we're going to be like more nickel than we are like true 4-2-5, because we're going to have Jordan Hancock in at the slot a lot. I have him. Obviously, Denzel Burke, though, and IGB are the ones that are the headliners there. Burke had a huge bounce back year last year. They didn't have a lot of picks, but I've never seen him that way. He's more like Denzel Ward, where he's just always like glue to his man and can swat the ball down. And he was so much better last year. Didn't get all the penalties. Didn't give up the big plays. IGB, he's a physical corner who gets in everybody's face. He does get the penalties still, but it's generally worth it. He's not killing you that way. And, if these guys are locking you down and you got that pass rush coming, little baby. And then Jordan Hancock's probably got the best ball skills of everybody on the team defensively.
Yeah, and I mean, it might be the best position unit, period, in the country, I'd say.
Oh.
I put it up there for sure.
For sure. And then you have Jermaine Matthews coming in off the bench, who would be starting at like 99% of other programs. There may be like 2 or 3 he wouldn't start at.
Yeah, pretty much if one of them gets hurt, there's not really regression.
Yeah, the only real worry, I mean, we have more experience, like Malik Hartford played a lot last year at safety. He'll probably be the first one in for either Downs or Lathan Ransom. They said they were a little worried about slot corner, so they've been trying some of the other guys there. But, I mean, if that's our biggest worry is slot corner with this type of – with a 4-2-5 defense where we can do a lot of different things to try and mitigate slot receivers, we can bait them up with a double team from a safety or put Sonny out there. Like, Sonny should be able to take care of some of that in zones. I'm not worried. Like, this is – they were top 3 in yards, top 2 in scoring last year. So is the bold prediction this year that we hold teams to under 10 points per game in modern college football?
I wonder what the over-under is. But right. I'd probably bet the under. I don't know about 10, but
yeah. It was 11 last year.
We probably played better offenses this year, though.
Most definitely. Oregon will be by far the best offense we've played in the last 2 years.
But then we also play Iowa.
We played them last year, too, though.
Damn, did we really? Wow, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Iowa's got to get snuffed out here for a couple of years, and they get to come here again this year. Lucky guys. Lucky for our defense, too, because that should help out the numbers yet again. Yeah, so is that that is going to be my bold prediction. We hold teams to 10 or under. We're like 9.9.
That's yours. I'm going to say Ransom is a Heisman finalist.
Lathan Ransom?
Or sorry, not Ransom. Caleb down.
Now that would be bold.
Caleb Downs, Heisman finalist. He's going to get some carries, some touchdowns.
So now you have 2 Heisman finalists for us. One off. Hey, we did it in 2019.
Hey, chances are I might get one of them right.
I mean, if you put some money on that, you would make on either guy making it. I think you'd be pretty happy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, that'll do it for this podcast, though. Check out our offensive podcast that we already did, previewing the 2024 offense, though. We're going to have a schedule preview coming up, and we'll also get an accurate preview out here this week as well. But for the Dyerwolf, I'm just Matt. Like, subscribe, comment. Tell us just how freaking great this defense is going to be this year. Slob all over Jim Knowles' knob. It's okay. But we'll see you guys next time.
Hey, guys. Oh, big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later.
A rich man's world.